Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll give you a better life.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News somewhere at 12. My name is Hansen Delta Present. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot.
From the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and the rest of the world. This news program is powered by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. My name is Marka Davis, anchoring. In the headlines, House Speaker Fonati Kofa seizes motion for the House of Representatives to scrutinize the draft recast budget. For violating Liberia's environmental laws, EPA shut down the operations of China Union in Bong Mines, Bong County. Following her acquittal and subsequent release from lifetime in prison, the former Chief Justice Gloria Mususcat vows to use her experience in jail to fight for prison and judicial reforms. And out of Liberia, United Nations calls for de-escalation as Israelite West Bank raids continue, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, including the news bulletin, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all part of this presentation of News. We're taking a short break to be back. Stay tuned.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier.
On news tonight, let's cross over now to Johnson Matoma for the bulletin of news. Good evening, Johnson.
Good evening to Maka and good evening to our listeners. The House of Representatives on Thursday placed a hold on hearing on the draft national budget or recast budget that was expected to take place in section. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Fonati Kofa, said the measure is in line with the House's commitment to promoting transparency and accountability within Liberia's governance system. According to Speaker Kofa, the decision to postpone the hearing on the draft recast budget will remain in effect until the Special Investigative Committee, led by Representative Robert Mwe, can submit its report. The Speaker said, as the House remains dedicated to being open and accountable to the people of Liberia, but proceed with any budget scrutiny until the Mwe's Special Investigative Committee can complete its investigation and deliver its findings. Speaker Kofa, who commended his colleagues for their commitment to return to work on constrained or challenging conditions, added that the extraordinary section, which commenced on Thursday, August 29, 2024, will continue until September 19, 2024. The Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia has shut down the operations of China Union for what it calls several environmental violations, the Environmental Protection and Management Law of Liberia. The violations, according to EPA, include operation with that will of an effluent discharge lesson, transportation of oats via the Bong Mines railway without an environmental mitigation plan, construction of a new processing plant without an environmental permit, construction of a medium tailings processing plant without environmental permit, and that's unregulated discharge of tailings in the nearby wetland, among others. The executive director of EPA, Dr. Emmanuel Yapabulu, said these actions by China Union violate several provisions of the Environmental Protection and Management Law of Liberia, including Section 6, 15, 24, 27, 57, 58, 105, and 1012. He told a Mika press briefing on Thursday that considering these grave violations, the EPA on 28 June communicated a notice of violation and found action amounting to US 120,000 to China Union. Dr. Yabolo said the company did not respond to the communication. The EPA board further that the 8th October or 8th August 2024, a second communication was sent requesting the company to comply with the found action and commence undertaking actions. But despite these notices, China Union blatantly ignored the EPA warnings and continued to operate without any environmental permits, continuing its environmental degradation and pollution. Following her acquittal and subsequent release from a lifetime prison, former Chief Justice Gloria Mususka says she will use her experience in jail to fight for prison and judicial reforms. She said she will seek to ensure a code of conduct with penalties with the police and prosecutors. The former Chief Justice added that while she is happy for release, she is also sad because the actual killer of her niece is still out there and could kill another person in another faction. Speaking in an interview with Voice of America Daybreak Africa, Councillor Scott said there is a need for the government to look for the killer of Chalomusu. According to her, the government has the scientific evidence that she and her other 3 family members are not the killer, but chose to keep them behind bars. The former Chief Justice and former Senator of Maryland County was convicted along with 3 other family members for the murder of her niece Chalomusu in February last year and were sentenced to life. However, on Wednesday, the Supreme Court overturned the lower court's decision by acquitting the defendants, citing lack of sufficient evidence, thereby honoring their immediate release. In a related development, the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor says the case involving former Chief Justice Gloria Musu Scott proved some of the many challenges facing Liberia, including its judicial system. The Monitor's program director Jefferson Nard said the case has highlighted the imbalance among the 3 branches of government and delicate balance between legal principles and political reality, urging a reflection on as justice is perceived and delivered in a society still healing from its tumultuous past. Addressing the press conference in Monrovia, Nard expressed regret about the unsolved question surrounding the death of Chalomusu that is still lingering. According to Jefferson now, many Liberians believed that the case has deepened issues and problems within the judicial system, stating from the police to the court, such as the potential for political interference and the need for reforms to ensure fairness and accountability as the cry for justice for Chalomusu continues. The Chief Executive Officer designate of the National Road Funds, Hansin Kasidu, has denied supporting the protest at President Joseph Barker's home on Wednesday. Kasidu said he was not aware of any such protest being planned on his behalf. He, however, explained that the protest actually staged by the grieved employees of the National Road Fund who had gone to present their plight to the president for what he called their illegal dismissal. Kasidu said, unknown to him, and some people believed to be his supporters joined the peaceful assembly with placards bearing his name, were demanding that he be allowed to take office as head of the rural funds. The former Maswara County representative said he would have cancelled the protest if he knew people were planning such action on his behalf. MC Kasidu is also MC Kasidu, who is also former Controller General of the Republic of Liberia, said he is disappointed that people are using the protest situation to malign his high-earned character. MC Kasidu was appointed by President Joseph Boakai since February this year as Chief Executive Officer of the National Rural Fund, but is yet to take office due to what he calls interference by Public Works Minister Roland Giddens. Meanwhile, one of the protesters who claimed to have transported herself from Grand Cape County to be part of the protest, Masa Kwajedu, said Mr. Kasidu was not aware of the action. She noted that if they had informed him, he would have stopped them. Over 25 journalists have benefited from the capacity building training in anti-corruption laws organized by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAL. The training was organized as part of CENTAL National Integration or Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program. The participants were drilled in several topics, including understanding the whistleblower and witness protection laws, roles of the Office of the Ombudsman, investigative journalism tips, gender and corruption, among others. The objectives of the training, according to CENTAL, are to improve the knowledge and skills of journalists in anti-corruption laws, encourage follow-ups on compliance and demand accountability, and also to provide training and empower journalists to investigate and independently report on violations of the anti-corruption law and integrity issues to foster an improved partnership with media partners, including investigative journalism in the fight against corruption. Giving an overview of the training Thursday, CENTAL's media assistant Mark Bantu said the meeting was organized by the institution to strengthen the capacities of journalists in the various laws relating to the fight against corruption and how journalists can go about investigating these issues. For their part, two participants, Macaulay of Women's TV and Anthony Gray of ECOWAS Radio, lauded CENTAL and partners for the opportunity provided them. Ms. Qualley and Gray described the training as knowledge sharing and promised to use the knowledge gained during their reportage. Residents of a village bordering the Firestone rubber plantation have blamed authorities of the Dusa hospital owned by Firestone for the death of a child shortly after birth in Lower Magibe County. According to the spokesperson for the village, Salomon 2, the child died at the gate of the 14 military hospital after the mother, Donna Pewi, was allegedly rejected by the authorities at the Dusa hospital during labor pain. Salomon 2 explained that Donna Pewi was referred to the Dusa hospital by nurses at the Durotan Health Center overnight due to the severity of her condition, which is in line with medical procedures they could not handle. He disclosed that Donna Pewi situation marked another phase in the series of similar cases that had led to the deaths of pregnant women in Panya village situated on the northeastern suburb of Habel City, Magibe County. A group under the Banu Kwaniboli District Professional Youth has welcomed the nomination of Augustine Daspe Gafan as Liberia's new finance minister. President Joseph Boakai on early Thursday nominated Gafan as finance minister, marking a return to the cabinet for the second time. Gafan, who previously served as Minister of Finance during the first regime or first term of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, will now take over from Boama Kamara, who resigned from the position in July. Was speaking Thursday as a news conference in Monrovia, the group's chairman, Mohamed Kane, said the nomination is welcoming, evident by Gafan's record in shaping the country's financial policies during Sirleaf's early years in office. He noted that Kafan return to the finance ministry is expected to bring a wealth of experience and continuity to President Barker's administration as Liberia crosses complex economic challenge. Cannon described the nomination of Kafan as a strategic move by the president aimed to strengthen the financial stewardship of the nation at a critical time, noting that Kafan is a true patriot and a man with integrity. Since he departed from as active politics, Kafan has served as a country manager for the African Development Bank in Uganda, a role that he kept engaged in Africa economic and development affairs since February 2021. The National Old Folks Association of Liberia has commenced a 2-day workshop to educate citizens on the importance of catering for the elderly population. The workshop, which began on Thursday, August 29, the Ministry of Gender witnessed the participation of both young and elderly, reflecting to a diversity interest in the well-being of the nation's senior citizens. In his remarks at the event, Mo Addison Bandit, the executive director of the National Old Folks Association, emphasized the critical issues faced by elderly individuals in rural communities across Liberia. He stated that the workshop is designed to address these challenges by equipping participants with the knowledge and skills necessary to properly care for the old people. He said the trainings will be dispatched to various communities to educate others on how to care for elderly individuals effectively. In an effort to empower women and girls, the Economic Community of West African States has launched its gender-supported Fistula project in Liberia. Speaking Thursday at the launching ceremony, ECOWAS Commissioner of Human Development and Social Affairs, Fatou Sosa, said the project is intended to provide support for those affected with asthmatic fistula. According to her, the creation of the ECOWAS Development Gender Center in Liberia is part of regional promotion of political will and gender equality in Liberia. For her part, Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Madam Bemi Corris Harris, highlighted that the project is also aimed at raising awareness about the cause and prevention of fistula. She is meanwhile urging ECOWAS for instructional role in providing financial support for women in agro-businesses, fishery arts, and craft sector. And away from Liberia, far more Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces in the second day of raids in the occupied West Bank, with the UN calling for de-escalation. The Israel Defense Force said there were 5 terrorists who had hidden inside a mosque near the border with Israel. Thus, the news bulletin is back to Maka.
Ria TV, True FM.
In Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
Into Truth FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep you better.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure.
Thanks to Johnson Batoma for bringing us the summary of the news. That's the news bulletin. It's a regular feature here on News Decks. If you're just joining us in one of the top stories we are following tonight, for violating Liberian environmental laws, EPA shut down the operations of China Union in Bong Mines, Bong County. In our first development tonight, the House of Representatives on Thursday placed a hold on hearing of the draft recast budget that was expected to take place in session. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Kofa, said the measure is in line with the House's commitment to promoting transparency and accountability within Liberia's governance system. According to Speaker Kofa, the decision to postpone the hearing on the draft recast budget will remain in effect until the Special Investigative Committee led by Representative Rawa Wongwe can submit its report.
The procedural constitutionally is there are 2 ways to call our president, or we call ourselves back. How it operates operationally, it's call us back because we are in nuisance, the government operates for our callback. We call ourselves back. We forego away our salary, any salary of callback that we are affected. We call back. So this House Constitution will be sent and will be sealed the same. We can of the president, they always have the right to call ourselves back. I don't want any misconception about how we got here. Because we call ourselves back, she will call us a political. And when that's this issue, the president has a constitutional duty to issue a proclamation calling us back. So the callback is that of the House. I would like to tell my fellow colleagues, thank you for making a positive sacrifice. We work in our team, also
Well, he's the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor Ponati Kofa, there speaking as the legislature reconvened today for an extraordinary session following a proclamation by President Joseph Boakai. The Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia has shut down the operations of China Union for what it calls several environmental violations. The violations, according to the EPA, include operation without an effluent discharge license, transportation of coals via the Bong Mines Railway without an environmental mitigation plan, construction of the new processing plant without an environmental permit, construction of a medium tolling processing plant without permit, and unregulated discharge of tailings into the nearby wetland, among others. The executive director of the EPA, Dr. Emmanuel Yapawulu, said these violations by China Union, or these actions by China Union, violate several provisions of the Environmental Protection and Management Law of Liberia, including sections 6, 15, 24, 27, 57, 58, 105, and 112.
On August 28, 2024, the EPA shut down China Union for several environmental violations, including operation without an affluent discharge license, transportation of oil via the Bong Mines Railway without any mitigation plan, construction of a new processing plant without environmental permit, construction of medium tailings processing plant without environmental permit, and unregulated discharge of tailings into nearby wetland, among others. These actions by China Union violate several provisions of the Environmental Protection and Management Law of Liberia, including sections 6, 15, 24, 27, 57, 58, 105, and 112. Considering these grave violations, the EPA on June 28 communicated a notice of violation and fine action amounting to $120,000 to China Union. The company did not respond to the communication. On August 8, 2024, a second communication was sent requesting the company to comply with the fine action and commence undertaking remedial actions. Despite these notices, China Union bluntly ignored the EPA warning and continued to operate without any environmental permit, continuing its environmental degradation and pollution. In lieu of China Union's persistent non-compliance with the Environmental Protection and Management Law of Liberia, it refused to engage with the EPA. The operational activities of China Union were shut down on August 28, 2024, in adherence to Section 38 of the Environmental Protection Agency Act.
He is the executive director of the Liberia Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Emmanuel Yakpawulu, there speaking today at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing in Monrovia. Following her acquittal and subsequent release from life in prison, former Chief Justice Gloria Mususkat says she will use her experience in jail to fight for prison and judicial reforms in Liberia. She said she will seek to ensure a code of conduct with penalties for the police and prosecutors. The former Chief Justice added that while she is happy for her release, she is also sad because the actual killer of her niece is still out there and could kill another person in another faction. Speaking in an interview with the Voice of America Daybreak Africa program, Councillor Scott said there's a need for the government to look for the killer of Charlotte Musu.
Even though we are free, but we are still sad that the government of Liberia refused to look for the killer. They were just bent on us. They had scientific evidence that we were not the killer, but they refused to look for the killer. So it's sad. We're happy, we're grateful to God, we glorify Him and all of that, and we have our freedom once again. But one of us is not here, and our killer is still out there. So that's the sadness.
Do you think that
the government to do, because they have the statutory mandate? The government of Liberia has a responsibility for public safety, protect and defend life and property. And one of his citizens died in 2023, was killed gruesomely. And even though we have new personnel running the country, but it is still a responsibility of the government of Liberia, especially the executive branch, as an institution. So we make that request for them to really investigate this matter.
Justice Scott, there's some who are saying that you got preferential treatment. What's your reaction?
To be put in prison, to have no privacy, what makes it preferential? You in the dark when anybody can come there, you buck naked, you ain't using it for more, anybody can open the door. So where is the preferential treatment? As a lawyer, I was presented to be a part of my legal team, which is a right under the Constitution to counsel of your choice. So where is the preferential treatment? I might be prejudicial in my answer, but I was tortured that you didn't commit a crime and they knew. They had all recent scientific evidence to know you didn't commit a crime. And they do this. They didn't even give us chance to move our beloved Chalo. I really want to see things that have preferential treatment. That person, they have to be a narcissistic person. They have a narcissistic personality. What other cruel treatment they wanted? Especially when they come to say that I'm presumed innocent until proven guilty.
She is the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Gloria Mususkat, there speaking with the Voice of America Daybreak Africa program. In a related development, the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor said the case involving the former Chief Justice proved some of the many challenges facing Liberia, including its judicial system. The Monitor's program director, Jefferson Knight, said the case has highlighted the imbalance among the three branches of government and delicate balance between legal principles and political reality, urging a reflection as justice is perceived and delivered in a society still healing from its tremendous past. Addressing a news conference on Thursday in Monrovia, Knight expressed regret about the unresolved question surrounding the death of Charlotte Musu that is still lingering.
The recent release of former Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, Councillor Musu Scott, has ignited a firestorm of mixed emotions among the Liberian public. This case, which centers around the tragic death of Charlotte Musu, Councillor Scott's niece, has raised significant questions about the integrity of the legal system in Liberia and the potential for political influence within the judicial decisions. The lower court, after reviewing the evidence, found Councillor Scott guilty of murder and sentenced her to death by hanging. This verdict shocked many, especially given Councillor Scott's prominent position in the legal community. However, narrative took a dramatic turn on August 28, 2024, when the Supreme Court of Liberia overturned the lower court's decision. The justices ruled that there was insufficient evidence to uphold the murder conviction. This ruling has left many observers questioning the integrity of the judicial process. Was the lower court in error, or does the Supreme Court's decision reflect bias influence by Councillor Scott's political affiliations, particularly her membership in the Unity Party? Critics argue that the Supreme Court's reversal could indicate a manipulation of justice to favor a high-profile defendant. The political climate in Liberia is charged, and with Councillor Scott's connections, some pundits speculate that her status as a Chief Justice and her ties to the Unity Party played a role in the Supreme Court's ruling.
Here's the program director of the United Methodist Human Rights Monitor, Jefferson Knight, there with that statement during a press conference today in Monrovia. We've little past the half-hour mark. This is a reminder you are listening to News Desk, 45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. My name is Marka Davis anchoring. At this juncture, we will cross over to Naomi Tapia to bring us sports on News Desk tonight. Good evening, Naomi.
Good evening, Marka. Good evening, everyone. Deputy Minister of Sports at the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Economy has restored the Liberia Basketball Association leadership for the recent friendly contest played between Liberia, defending champions Mighty Barrow, and Sierra Leone's champions the Forsins. The Forsins played Mighty Barrow and MPA Pythons in friendly contests intended to prepare their teams for FIBA Clubs Championship in their respective zones. Speaking recently during a farewell gathering for the Sierra Leone side, Minister Comey urged the two countries to maintain their sporting camaraderie, adding that Liberia Basketball Association family will be happy to honor invitation the Basketball Federation in Sierra Leone in November for friendly encounters. Minister Comey was followed by Senator Jonathan Bocha Singbe, who also attended the farewell event, disclosing that he has benefited from a long-term sporting relationship between the two countries, while he pledged his unwavering support to sports development that is his background.
Normally, needed days ago, as a team for Shatta Injo, they were in Sierra Leone to play football. Actually, won the cup for their team. 2 weeks ago, Wakanga was also involved in the region. We needed so that at least people in Sierra Leone will be free coming to Liberia to play basketball, football, or whatever sports you want to play. People from Liberia will do likewise. And the form of rivalry will also help us to grow our sports. Like I was speaking to the basketball president of Sierra Leone last night. He has a Lebanese background. That cannot happen in our country. They will fight. Honestly, I was shocked when he introduced him to me, somebody with Lebanese background to be president of basketball. That can happen in our country. They will fight you, but I was happy to see that. We hope that the camaraderie between Sierra Leone and Liberia through sports will also for our fraternity. Thank you for coming. And like the basketball president said last night, you will invite Liberia there in November. Whatever it is, we will also try our best to also come, so that the basketball in Sierra Leone and the basketball in Liberia will almost be the same.
There have always been this proximity between Liberia and Sierra Leone, and I am a beneficiary. We used to have one player called Ishmael Tafan. So there's another one called Baba George. Baba George discovered me because he said that I played like Ishmael Tafan, and that's how he started to push me until I became a professional player. I played 9 years in Switzerland because of this country. I sit at the table. And quite honestly, my entire background comes from sports. So my unflinching and unwavering support will go to the sports section. Evident by the fact that I have to leave my bed 8 o'clock this morning to be here. So you know I'm about 5. Very prepared.
Senator Jonathan Bocha Singbe, listened to Deputy Minister for Sports and Economy. In more basketball news, the Liberia Basketball Association has appointed Boniface Satu as chairman on national and global partnership. Satu, whose appointment was done by LBA President Prince Samuka on Wednesday, is a former player of Invincible 11 basketball team, and he served as head of national reforms during former President Weah's administration. LBA President Prince Samuka says Satu's appointment takes immediate effect as he has the responsibility to develop basketball internationally and nationally, negotiating with the partners of the association. The LBA president also charged him with the formulation of programs leading to the establishment of the Hall of Fame, where he pleaded with Satu to accept the challenges as they move forward in rebranding the game in the country. In reaction to his appointment, Boniface Satu on his official Facebook page thanked the Liberia Basketball Association President Ibrahim Samuka for the confidence in his abilities to serve the basketball family in the country. He added that he looks forward to starting work soon and setting up a broad-based committee comprising of diaspora and home-based Liberians to move basketball in a new direction. Spartacus defeated Vision Shooters 77 to 70 points as the playoffs of the 2024 National Basketball Second Division Championship continued at the Askedi Basketball Gym in Pingsville. Vision Shooters must win Game 2 to force out Game 3 to stand a chance of qualifying to the grand final, as defeat in Game 2 will end their journey. In the female category, Invincible 11 managed a point margin over D Records on Tuesday in a high-end 55 to 44 points. It will need another win in Game 2 to qualify for the grand final and also become one of the 2 women's clubs to represent the country in the next edition of the FIBA Women's Championship. The Liberia Kickball Federation Knockout League will continue this Saturday in exciting fixtures with Destiny Kickball Club taking on Camara Kickball Club at 12:30 p.m. in the first match. The second match will win Success Kickball Club battling Skills Kickball Club at 2 p.m., while Yasmo and Brazilian girls will lock arms in the third encounter at 3:30 p.m. Former League One defending champions Amazon and Liberia's oldest clubs, Aries, will meet at 4 p.m. in continuation of the Knockout League. In this last encounter, the winner of Destiny or Camara Kickball Club game would take on the winner of Destiny and Camara Kickball Club would take on SWAT at 5 p.m. to climax the day's kickball activities. All the matches are scheduled to be played at the usual venue, the Samarkand Sports Complex in Pingsville. Liverpool will face Champions League holders Real Madrid on their return to the competition following the draw for the new look format. Manchester City and Arsenal both played last season's semi-finalist PSG in their fixtures, while Aston Villa take on Scottish champions Celtic. Each team plays 8 fixtures in the league phase, with this year's men's tournament seeing a radical change, including the end of the group stage. The high-tech draw took place in Monaco on Thursday, with Portugal for Cristiano Ronaldo pressing the all-important button to make a computer procedure determine the fixtures. A UEFA video shown before the draw used the stars from across the game, showing their confusion at a new format. Before former Swedish Zlatan Ibrahimovic praised it for more football in a comical interaction with UEFA President Alexander Seferin. The order of the matches will be confirmed on Saturday after the Europa League and the Conference League draws have been made. That's all from our sports desk.
Now, I'm top here with Sports on News Desk tonight. In more news, the Chief Executive Officer designate of the National Road Funds, Hansen Kiazulu, has denied supporting the protest at the home of President Joseph Boakai on Wednesday. Kiazulu said he was not aware of any such protest being planned on his behalf. He, however, explained that the protest was actually staged by aggrieved employees of the National Road Funds who had gone to present their plight to President Boakai for what they called their illegal dismissal. Kiazulu noted that, unknowing to him, some people believed to be his supporters joined a peaceful assembly with placards bearing his name and were demanding that he be allowed to take office as head of the Road Funds. He since expressed regrets over the incident.
I want to say here categorically that I didn't know about the organizations of that protest. If I'm knowing and it was for me, I could have answered the protest. When I gather, there are 12 or more aggrieved workers that were dismissed from the National Road Fund. So they decided to gather themselves and meet President Joseph Boakai to express their grievances. Unfortunately, I think some supporters of the because they said there was a placard my name on it. Wrote my name and actually joined those that were doing the protest for their unfair or unjust dismissal from the rule form. How I got to know about the protest at the president's house, which they said it was a peaceful protest. It was a protocol officer that called me from the marshal, and there where I become disheartened.
Meanwhile, one of his supporters who claimed to have transported herself from Grenke Mount County to form part of the protest, Masa Kojandi, said Mr. Kiazu was not aware of their action. She noted that if they had informed him, he would have stopped them.
One of the supporters of the Kiazu who transported myself yesterday from Grenke Mount County to someone at the president's house. When I heard that the agreed records that were displayed for the national reform were examining, because the issue of the Kiazu employment, they have gotten so complicated to the extent that even we are supporters of him, whenever we call him to inquire as to how far, we don't really get anything straight. So we saw yesterday examining an opportunity to hear from the president as to how far is this employment issue. We are supporters only use the situation yesterday as opportunity to join the record to go from the itself we are putting on the workers so how far or what is that decision, because even if we call on the workers to inquire to me as supporter.
One of the supporters of Hanson Kiazuru, who joined the peaceful protest at the president's residence on Wednesday, clarifying that the former lawmaker and chief executive officer designate of the National Road Funds was not in the know of their action. Earlier on, you listened to Hanson Kiazuru. Over 25 journalists have benefited from a capacity building training in anti-corruption laws organized by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, Central. The training was organized as part of Central's National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program. Giving an overview of the training on Thursday, Central's media assistant Mark Wonder said the meeting was organized by the institution to strengthen the capacities of journalists in the various laws related to the fight against corruption in Liberia.
And we will be talking about anti-corruption law. I'm sure most of you that fill out the application form are aware that exclusively today is going to be about anti-corruption and how journalists can cultivate the culture of compliance and monitoring, and also accountability and transparency in their bureau reportage. So today we will be taking presentation as it relates to our anti-corruption law, understanding the whistleblower and witness protection laws. We'll also be talking a little bit about CENTAR. Many of us are here, really don't know what CENTAR is all about, the achievement of CENTAR, the challenges and some of the opportunities CENTAR have gotten over the years. So we'll be talking about a section on CENTAR and focus. We'll be talking about the whistleblower and the witness protection laws. We'll also be understanding the role of the ombudsman. As you are aware that the office of the ombudsman has been established, but
he is the media assistant at the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, Mark Bondell, there speaking during the workshop today. Residents of a village bordering the Firestone rubber plantation have blamed authorities of the Dusa Hospital owned by Firestone for the death of a child shortly after birth in Lower Margibi County. According to the spokesman for the village, Solomon told the child died at the gate of the 14 military hospital after the mother, Doyan Peewee, was allegedly rejected by the authorities at Dusa Hospital during labor pain.
When the pregnant women are looking for hospital registration to do that, they say, yeah, we need to start patient or yeah, among one for them, they will say they got that number they can register every month. So the first thing I do is she register the man and see probably keep up. Can't have to do that. The second time I had to do it this doing when the register they say no, they know what it's over. The register to man time for delivering. So I had to get them to do that. They went to do that, they came up, did it. The doctor and the they say, okay, put me the chain, they want to work. Before the doctor, but then I'll put your patient down, camera, I had to turn around, get to the parent. Right before they get, I want to get, soon I get to the one that the better.
Father, when I care about an artist, my brother, let me tell you, they did not care about any human being. The black management will have a representation. They don't get it. You need to be the job of politics. What's your place? If I can't have today.
Well, Solomon told they're speaking, however, the authorities at Dusa Hospital are yet to make comment on the allegation. We hope to bring you more details on that development and other stories in our subsequent newscast. Well, this is all the time we've got to be with you tonight on News Decks. But before we go, a recap of the top stories we followed. House Speaker Fonati Kofa seizes motion for hearing on the draft recast budget. For violating Liberia's environmental laws, EPA shut down operations of China Union in Bong Mines, Bong County. Following her acquittal and subsequent release from lifetime in prison, former Chief Justice Gloria Musu-Scott vows to use her experience in jail to fight for prison and judicial reforms in Liberia. Away from home, United Nations calls for de-escalation as Israeli West Bank raids continue, according to the BBC. Many thanks to all of you for your listening role, and thanks to those who view the news on TV live on Facebook. Thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped to make the edition of News a success. Johnson Batoma read for us the bulletin of news. Naomi Tapia brought us post tonight. Maya Tobian has been behind the cameras. Kopa Sanga coordinated this presentation. My name is Mark Davis. Good night.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a barefoot manner, we'll keep your later like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary of 12. My name is Hansen the represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Both connecting those.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.
Ria TV.
Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
I would like to fund my account at any time, even here.
Right here, right now.
Here too!
Without moving an inch.
Here would be just perfect.
Henceforth, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account and vice versa directly from your mobile phone. A simple and fast solution that is always available to ensure a permanent access to your Orange Money services. Anywhere, anytime, send money to your Orange Money account from your bank account from your mobile phone to cash out, to recharge, to transfer, to pay, to buy. To subscribe to this service, go to your bank branch office, partner to the Orange Money service. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.